Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. Peep Squad is in the building, baby. We're going to the top. We're going to bring others with us. So let's get it popping. Let's get it cracking. Let's talk about none other than Cardi B. We got to congratulate her. She won a award on that VMAs. I was like, go girl, go Cardi B. Best hip hop for the song Money. You go girl, you doing your damn thing. It is what it is. But let's get into it. We're going to talk about Cardi B, Starr Brim, and Ra Ali, Nicki Minaj. We're going to talk about Joe Buttons too as well, and Drake, and Charlamagne the God, and Swae Lee. It's going down, so let's get into it. So let's start off with this situation. There's going to be a situation. It's going to happen between Joe. There's going to happen between Charlamagne and Swae Lee, and actually Drake, because it's going down. Because it seems like Joe Buttons has chosen Nicki Minaj's side, and he's her friend, and he gonna stick with. He gonna stay with her, because that's what Joe said on his podcast. And right now we have, Charlamagne the God. He has Starr Brim on his podcast, and basically he's promoting Starr Brim, and actually Starr Brim is connected to Taxstone, and Taxstone was put on by none other than who? Charlamagne the God. And now we got Starr Brim with her own podcast, and it's actually #1. And Charlamagne is promoting Starr Brim. So it is what it is with this situation. But recently, with that, it seems like Joe Buttons and Charlamagne are going their separate ways. Like, they ain't even really that cool. Like, what's really good? Like, what's going on with the situation? Because we have Joe Buttons coming after Swae Lee and Drake, basically saying that their song was whack, their song wasn't good, and he didn't like their song, point blank, period. Or he wasn't feeling, Swae Lee and Drake's new song at all. He was not feeling it. He did not like it. He dissed the song. He said the song sounds like trash. It sounds terrible. And this is what Joe was saying on his podcast. I mean, he was going in, and I was just like, whoa. And then the next day we have Swae Lee coming at Joe, talking about, why are you talking all crazy? What are you talking about? This song is hot, whatever the case may be. And then we also had Drake. He was actually trolling Joe Buttons at his pool party he had on the weekends, basically saying it's a whack mansion, it's a broke mansion, and once you play your only hit song, which is Pump It Up, Drake was going in. He was trolling Joe while Joe was live on Instagram at his party. So it is what it is. And then Charlamagne the next day got on to the Breakfast Club and basically was like, Joe need to calm down. He needs to chill out. That song with Swae Lee and Drake is actually good. It's actually a good song. What is he talking about? He's always acting crazy. He's always yelling and screaming at these young dudes, but he won't step up to him and say it into their face, and he will probably back down. And also, Charlamagne was saying that Joe got all this energy, but he don't have this energy when he's face to face. So miss me with that shit. So I was like, oh, it's going down, because you already know Charlamagne the God ain't messing with Nicki Minaj, and we have Joe Buttons messing with Nicki Minaj, and they friends now. They're good. They're doing shows together, and Joe says he's staying with Nicki Minaj. So we're gonna see Charlamagne the God and Joe Buttons go back and forth at each other pretty soon. Watch, it's gonna happen, because they are taking little shots at each other, and Charlamagne the God is taking the biggest shot so far. So it is what it is. But we're gonna get into the interview with Starr Brim and Charlamagne the God on Brilliant Idiots. OMG. I was like, damn, it's going down with this interview. It's crazy. It's like, Starr Brim, she needs therapy, she needs help, but she's getting the help, and hopefully she'll take the counseling courses that she is ordered by the court to take, because she's just been through a lot, and you can see where her toughness and her madness and her hurt come from too as well. But I mean, she is really rough around the edges. She is somebody that you don't want to have an enemy with at all, and she's about that life. She's about everything. And like, damn, like if she was your neighbor, you would want to move out. You know what I mean? If Starr Brim was going to school with your kids, you would want to take your kids out to school, because she has a lot of issues when it comes to violence. So let's get into her responding to Ra Ali, because Starr Brim got something to say to Ra Ali, because Ra Ali hit Cardi B on the head at Fashion Week New York, and then Cardi B has a knot on her head. So that was a big situation. That was a big issue. I was like, And Starr Brim said, if I was here in these streets, I would have taken care of business. So let's check that out.
Raw. If I see Raw right now, I still spank Raw. So it really don't matter. Like, and if I could have got to Nicki, you feel me, then it would have went down too. You feel me? But that bitch is well protected. But it would not have went down the way it went down. Like, I don't know even how it went down like that. Like, I'm sorry, I'd be too overprotective of my friend. Not even because she's a celebrity, but it's because, like, I'm just more aggressive than her. Like, you understand? And I seen everything that she been through. Like, I was there while she was crying. I was there when nobody wanted her to go further in life. When she was busting her ass, you know, to go here and go there. So it's like, you ain't gonna pick on my motherfucking friend.
Real
Fuck that.
friendship.
Like, you ain't picking on my friend. I own all my friends. Like, to me, every friend that I have, you're mine. Like, I own you. Like, you're my kid. Like, you're mine.
I feel the same way, but people feel like people like me and you are too intense when it comes to friendship, right? And I feel like that's what a friendship is about, though. You create a bond through the memories, like what you was just talking about, the moments where your friend might need you to help hold them down when they're having a private moment that they can only share with you. Mm-hmm. That's a friendship. Like, to me, that is the...
So, in so many different words, you know, Starr Brim is ready for... She's about that life and she's ready for it. And she don't care anything about Ra Ali or Nicki Minaj. And she says she'll get at Nicki Minaj, but Nicki Minaj has too much security. So, it is what it is. And actually, Starr Brim says she'll take on anybody's beef, especially if it's Cardi B, because that's her girl. You know, she joined the gang together. And she called her Bardi B, because a lot of people say, why do you call Cardi B Bardi B? Because that's what they call her, Bardi B, before she was the it factor, the it girl. And Starr Brim, basically, she's coming up and she's doing her damn thing. But her interview with Joe Buttons was crazy. I mean, with Charlamagne the God was crazy. I was like, OMG. But, you know, Starr Brim, she addressed the issues about she ain't no stripper. She ain't never been no stripper. So get that out your head. Get that out your mind. And also, when she was interviewing on the Brilliant Idiots, she was just like, you know, she's about that life. She was really hardcore when she was growing up, and she didn't like hold back anything. Anybody looked at her wrong, said something to her wrong, or if she just felt like she wanted to get at you because she was having a bad day or something at home wasn't at right, she got at you. And she carried all types of different items on her to protect herself or to come at you. And she don't have a problem with taking care of people's face, giving them all types of scars on their face. I was like, damn. And she says she don't drink, she don't smoke, she don't do none of that stuff. I was like, damn, girl, why are you so violent? But then she explains the story that she has been through hell and back when it came to her mother and the situation with her mom and everything, because her mom was, you know, drinking, and she was, you know, drinking, and actually once a week she would go out there and she would abuse, you know, Starr Brim. Like, she would get a beating once a week, or she'll be emotionally abused by her mother and physically too as well. And her sister was also abused too as well. So she took that anger and that hurt and that pain out on other people when she seen them. So she was held in school. So this is like these kids, like her, she's not a kid anymore, she's a young woman. But you have kids going to public schools with your kids that have these type of issues and these type of problems, and the public school is not able to deal with these situations. Where were the teachers, where were the counselors to call out the situation? And Starr Brim says she was on the street doing whatever she had to do at 12 years old because her mother had issues, her mother had a situation, her mother had problems, her grandmother passed away, you know, from I believe HIV, because her grandfather, you know, was sharing a needle, and then he ended up passing it on to her grandmother, and her mother and her mother and grandmother got into an argument. Her mother always felt guilty, and she said when her mother used to, you know, give her a whooping, that, you know, her mom would call her grandmother's name. So her mother was dealing with a lot of issues, and basically, you know, Starr Brim older sister, she moved out because she was about 10 years older, and so Starr Brim had to protect her younger sister to make sure her mother didn't spank or, you know, mistreat her younger sister, and her younger sister didn't go through, you know, the domestic violence that was going on at home or the child abuse that was going on at home. So I was like, yo, this girl has been through a lot. It's like, damn, how do you pick up the signs to people to know you need adults around? It takes a village to raise a child, but sometimes you can't get into people's business because they don't want you in their business, and they'll end up taking it out on you, and you don't know how crazy and deranged people are. But, you know, this girl, if she would have got some help earlier, or somebody would have paid attention to know that the signs and the behaviors that she was displaying was of an abused child, and maybe she would have got some help, maybe she wouldn't have been scamming. But Starr Brim says that she'll continue to do what she wants to do, when she wants to do, and how she wants to do it, but she does want to change over a new leaf and have a new life and be a better person. And she's trying to get into this podcast business and make it happen. And she also said the only person that really helped her and gave her stuff and really really promoted her and actually wanted to see her make it and give her a hands up was none other than Taxstone. And she was like, Taxstone cared for me while I was locked up, or while he was locked up and everything. He might be facing life, but he introduced me to my managers. He introduced me to so many different people to make phone calls for me. Like, he actually cared if I made it. But she also said that since Taxstone is locked up and he might not be getting out, she knew him from the neighborhood, but she never met him. So she gave him 3 to 4 pictures of her looking very sexy, so he can look at these pictures while he's locked up and be happy about it, because she knows she got the body and she knows she looks good. And also Starr Brim says that, you know, she got lipo, and she said growing up, a lot of people, like in the clubs, you know, the strippers, some of the bartenders, you know, they would get all types of work done, and it was so easy for, you know, Spanish women to get work done because their aunt did it, their brothers did it, their cousin did it, or they knew somebody in DR, they knew somebody in Puerto Rico, they knew somebody in Cuba, and basically it was so easy, and their bodies were snatched and they made money. And she said she made money too, as well as being a bartender. And she says that she has to always correct people because she was never a stripper. She used to make $3,000 to $4,000 looking regular and average, she said, until she got her work done, her lipo. She ended up making $8,000 a night. And she said, you know, people don't really want to cater to black men in the club because, you know, they want to negotiate for a bottle, which she would negotiate. If I buy 2 bottles, can I get half price? So basically she was just talking, and she was saying that Cardi B got jumped into the gang or whatever. She's been in the gang since she was a young kid. And she said, you know, Cardi B is not as tough as her, not as bad as her, but, you know, and she lets people get to her. But, you know, Starr Brim is here to protect her and got her back. And she'll take care of Riley any day, anytime she sees it. She'll smash on that. She'll torch that. She'll do whatever she needs to do. And she also said that, you know, when she was incarcerated for scamming, that, you know, the prison guards didn't like her. Like, they mistreated her. They did her wrong. They did her bad because she was best friends with Cardi B. And Cardi B, aka Bardi B, you know, talked against Trump, and none of the prison guards liked that, you know, Cardi B stands against, you know, Donald Trump. So she had to suffer. She couldn't eat the food and the prison. She only could eat things that was wrapped up, like bananas, like things were packaged, because she said the guards will spit on her food, do all types of funny stuff to her food too as well, and she wasn't here for it. But she also mentioned something else, that Remy Ma was there for her. Remy Ma had her back. Remy Ma would deposit $300 a month into her account on her books while she was locked up, and Remy Ma had her back out of nowhere. And she said one day Remy Ma seen her fighting and how she was getting down, and she got kicked with a dirty sock, and she requested for a detective and people to find whoever kicked her in the head with a dirty sock. She was going to pay some racks on racks on racks, or some stacks on stacks on stacks, or some money on some money. And so Remy Ma took to that and basically became her soul sister. I was like, okay, we see what's good. We see what's going on. I was like, okay. And then on top of that, you know, she says that she does have issues, but she's trying to change it. She's trying to work on it. And she was recently caught in an incident where a girl stepped to her that she went to school with that was just as tough as her. But she told the girl she had no problem. And she said the old Starr Brim wouldn't have did that. She would have went off. She would have been about that life. But Starr Brim still wants Ra Ali. Ra Ali just had a miscarriage. She ain't trying to fight you, Starr Brim. She ain't trying to be out here in the streets. But Starr Brim is still living by the street code, the gang code. So it is what it is of that situation. Ra Ali, protect yourself, protect your back, and watch your neck. Riley is married, I believe, and she is Muslim. So you guys tell me what you think about this situation. It sounds like Starr Brim has been through a lot, and also she was almost assaulted in jail by another female that made a dildo, and she had to fight for herself. And she also said she fought a lot of boys, she fought a lot of girls, she fought anybody over and over and over. She was always ready to go. She really does sound smart. She does sound intelligent, but you know, she's hardcore. She's from the streets. She was raised this way. This is what she knows is about that life, about that street life. But she's trying to change that and trying to get paper and trying to get stacks the illegal way and not to commit any crimes. But she also says she wouldn't change anything that she has done in the past or whatever the case may be. So she ain't trying to right no wrong. She's just gonna move forward. I was like, wow. And she also says that, she tried to have an event for the kids in her neighborhood, to give them back to school bags and stuff like that to help them out. And she basically have some money and some change to spare, but she wasn't able to. But Cardi B came near to support her, but the New York Police Department shut it down that she cannot do any charity events at all. So here we go. So it is what it is. I was like, damn, this girl got a story to tell too. I just hope she gets better. I hope she gets help. And I also hope that she's remorseful for the things that she has done, the things that she has done to people, because she got to understand she hurt a lot of people and she made a lot of people's life like miserable too as well. Imagine going to school with her. Imagine being her teacher. Imagine being her next door neighbor. Imagine being her classmate, and the hurt and the pain that she was going through, which so many of our kids do have, this hurt and this pain and the abuse that they have at home, and nobody sees it. Nobody sees the signs. Nobody sees what's going on with these kids, or they're too scared to say anything. And Starr Brim's situation, somebody could have helped her. Somebody should have helped her. Somebody should have talked to her mother. But Starr Brim says she ended up one day talking to her mother about what her mother been through and what has happened to her mother, where her mother understood that she can no longer abuse Starr Brim or her sister or any of the family members, because now she was able to release her pain. So if you are struggling through pain out there, get some help. Try to do something to make yourself feel easy. And if you're always mad, you always upset, and you got a bone to pick with somebody, then try to get some help. Try to find out what's going on. If you're always angry and you resort to violence and not using your head, find out why you're doing this, because it could be from childhood. It could be from a bad relationship. It could be just being mistreated and being taken advantage of. And she says she was taken advantage of and people try to play games with her, but she got it okay. But she does have the mindset to protect herself and to protect whoever's around her, and she ain't scared of nothing, and she ain't scared of nobody either. And it's going to be hard for you to take advantage of her. Part of her personality and part of the things that she been through can very well help her in her future and help others too as well. It's just now she needs a little softening, a little more remorse, a little more being more humble, and also not resorting to violence, and also work out her issues of what she has done with to people, because it gotta haunt her too as well. Some people it don't haunt, but it probably is. And she also says that she wished that Cardi B can stay off of Instagram. Cardi B is always on Instagram. Cardi B won't pick up her phone, answer her phone, because she's too busy on IG listening to what people say, and it hurts her and makes her cry when people disrespect her, when people make fun of Cardi B or her music, say she don't deserve this, she don't deserve that, or when people are talking ill about Cardi B, she takes it personal. She gets upset and she cries and she really feel bad. And she said she wished that Cardi B had tougher skin and was able to ignore it, because right now Starr Brim says she's going to ignore all the negativity and just focus on the positive. And I hope she's able to make it. I hope she's able to break them chains. And she broke some of the chains when it came to her younger sister. She made sure her younger sister did not get abused. So I like that. And she's a nice girl, and she has star potential, and she's very fluent, and she has a really nice, likable personality too as well. But don't cross her and don't play no games with her. And sometimes you have to probably play around with her with kid gloves on, because you might do the wrong thing, I might say the wrong thing, and she might explode on you. She might think like you're somebody from back in her past or back in the day. So you have to be real with her also all the time, and don't try no funny moves, which you shouldn't try with nobody in the first place. But there's so many grimy people out here that you gotta be somewhat like her, and like some of her characteristics you need to survive in this gritty world, because you will want her on your team to have your back and protect you, because she's gonna go all in for you, because she's down for her peoples, she's down for her homies. So it is what it is. But the moral of the story is get freaking help if you need it. And if you're a child going through abuse, talk to your parents, tell them how you feel, tell them what you think is going on, how can you change it, how can you work it, talk to a counselor, talk to another family member, because this stuff really affects you as an adult, where you can go out here and commit crimes and hurt somebody or get hurt, because you might not always be on a winning side. You might be on a losing side, and you might be 6 feet under. And so parents, if you have some issues from your childhood, or you despise your child sometimes, find out why. Don't mistreat your child. Talk to your child and ask them how do they feel about their childhood? How do they feel about their living situation? How do they feel about school? Is there anybody crazy in their classroom like Starr Brim? But Starr Brim didn't have, the tools to actually be a better young individual as she was growing up. All she knew was it was a doggy dog world. Peace. I'm out. Much love to all my peeps and my peoples. Peep squad.